Hello students, good morning. Today I am going to start the first chapter of your science, that is matter in our surroundings. Before going to discuss about the matter, just we need to thankful to God because he create a beautiful and wonderful word. We call it as universe. Just imagine that when you are open your eyes or when you are look at your surroundings, you are observing so many types of objects. They are having different size, shape, appearances and different textures also. One question is always arises in our mind, that is how these things will be happen. Finally, we get one answer, that is each and every object is made up of matter. So this is the main concept of your topic, that is matter. Matter means what? How the matter will be existing, how the matter will be, what are the constituents of matter. So let us see one by one. In general words, matter is nothing but everything in this universe is made up of materials called as a matter. It means anything or everything which can occupy space and has mass is called as a matter. For example, if I take one stone, it will occupy some space and it has particular mass in terms of their size, right? It means when you are taking large quantities, it have occupy large size and it is having different weights also or different masses also. So entirely mass and place is depends upon the objects, right? When we are going to the history of this matter, our ancient Indian philosophers classify the matter as five types and they call it as Panchatatvas. In that, first one is fire, second one is water. It means first one fire, that is nothing but a Agni Tattva. Second one water, that is nothing but Jala Tattva. Third one earth, Prithvi Tattva. Fourth one sky, that is Akasha Tattva. And fifth one is air, that is nothing but a Vayu Tattva. So these are the five classifications made by Indian philosophers. So they finally conclude that all the objects which are existing in this universe is made up of all these five things only. It means all the objects are obtained by the Panchatatvas. What are those Panchatatvas? First one is fire, second one is water, third one is earth, fourth one is sky, and fifth one is air. So these are the five Panchatatvas described by the Indian philosophers. But the Western philosophers or Western scientists classify the matters on the basis of physical and chemical properties. In this chapter, we are going to focus only on the physical properties of the matters, how the objects or how the matters will be appear in terms of physical, and what are the physical characters are having each and every matters. Okay, let's see one by one. Look at this glass. In the figure, you are observing one complete glass. If we hold a glass sheet in our hand and look at it, the sheet appears to be continuous. You are observing the complete glass, right? Here, you are observing the complete glass sheet, right? This is the complete glass sheet now. So, it is in the continuous form only. In case of faults due to accident or by other negligence, what happens? Yes, it will be immediately break into very small pieces or tiny places. What does it shows? The fine piece of glass indicates that sheet is made up of thousands or millions of particles. So this glass is made up of thousands and millions of the small pieces, and each pieces we call it as a particles. Each piece is called it as a particles. Okay, next one. In fact, every object is made up of certain particles which are differ in shape, size and nature from one form to another form. Here in the next image you are going to observe the broken pieces of the glasses. With the help of this image you can easily identify this is the complete glass, right? So this is the complete glass. Once it falls down, it will be broken into small pieces. With the help of this image, we can conclude that the complete glass is made up of small pieces, that each small pieces we call it as a particles. Okay, and one more thing, not only this glass, even you are taking stone or liquid substances or solid substances or gaseous substances, all those objects what they are already existing in this universe, they are made up of the particles only. It means we finally conclude that each and every object in this universe is made up of small particles, that is called as matter. Okay, see in the next image, matter. Matter is anything which occupy space and has mass. Matter is nothing but it's an object that can occupy the space and having particular mass. For example, chair, stone, perfumes, like these kind of the objects, when you keep it one side it will occupy some area and it has some kind of the mass. So these kind of the objects are substances, we call it as a matter. Okay, next one, classification of the matter. On what basis we are going to be classify the matters? On the basis of physical state. On the basis of physical state, matter is classified as three types. In this chapter I already told you, in this chapter we are going to only classify the matter on the basis of physical state. In the next chapter, in second chapter, we are going to discuss about the chemical properties also, but in this chapter we are going to, or we are focusing only the physical properties of the matter. So on the basis of physical properties we are going to classify the matters as three types. First one, solid, second one, liquid, and third one is gases. First one, on the basis of chemical properties. On the basis of chemical properties or chemical composition, matter is classified as pure substances and mixtures. Pure substances and mixtures. So what do you mean by pure substance? Pure substance means a single substance or matter which cannot be separated into other kind of matters by physical process. So what do you mean by physical substance? Physical substance means it's a simple and single substance which we cannot separate by any physical process. So these kind of the substances we call it as a pure substances. The pure substances, it may be elements or compounds. So what do you mean by elements? Elements is a simple form of pure substance. Element is a simple form of pure substance which cannot be broken into any simpler than that one. So element is nothing but it's a purest form of the substances. Next one, compound. What do you mean by compound? So compound is also nothing but it's a pure substance containing or combination of two or more substances or two or more elements combined together to form a one compounds. About these two, elements and compounds, you will learn in the next chapter. See the next one, Mixtures may be homogeneous mixture or heterogeneous mixture. So mixture means what? As we already discussed, pure substance means it's a completely made up of the single substances. So mixtures means the word itself, it is indicates that is mixture is nothing but it's a combination of two or more elements, whether it may be elements or compounds, and that mixtures we can classify as homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. In that, homogeneous mixture means it's a combination of same kind of the elements or same kind of the compounds. Heterogeneous mixture means it's a combination of different type of the elements or different type of the compounds. Okay, see in the next slide, physical nature of matter, or these are nothing but a characteristics of matter. So what are the characteristics of matter? See one by one. First one, matter is made up of particles. As I already told you, each and every object or each and every matter is made up of small pieces. Each small pieces we call it as the particles. So by the combination of all these particles, matter will be formed. So first one, matter is made up of particles. So this is the first characteristics of matter. Second one, the particles of matter are very tiny. Okay, it means when the glass is the complete glass is broken, it makes a small pieces. So even where were broken with the help of the hammer, the glass will be broken into small pieces. It means 1 centimeter glass is around consisting millions of the particles. So the particles of matter are very tiny. Next one, see the third property, the particles of matter have space between them. It means if two particles are existing in one particular matter, the space is the vacant place is there in between the particles. Okay, next one, see the fourth characteristics, that is the particles of matter are continuously moving. The particles what they are already existing in the matter, they are not in the stable. It means they are always in the moving condition. Okay, next see the fifth one. The fifth characteristics is the particles of matter attracts each other. It means the existing particles are always attracted to each other. Okay, with the help of these activities we can get some more knowledge about these characteristics. See the first one, matter is made up of particles. So this is the first characteristics now. So with the help of this activity you need some more knowledge. Okay, see the first activity, take some water in a beaker. Take some water in a beaker and note its level. Dissolve some salt or sugar in it with the help of glass rod. The salts dissolve in the water, but the level of the water does not change. This is because the particles of water get into space between the particles of water. This shows that matter is made up of particles. When we are going to dissolve sugar or salt, it is completely soluble in water, right? Once it is soluble in water means we cannot see the sugar crystals or salt crystals. So it indicates that each and every matter is made up of the particles. In the last slide you are observed here. So in these two slides the complete glass is made up of the number of particles, right? So here you are observing. So this slide will be indicates that the glass is made up of the infinite number of pieces of the glasses. It means each and every matter is made up of small particles. Okay, see the next one. Okay, see the second activity. So what is that second property? The particles of matter are very tiny. So take one activity. Dissolve 2 to 3 crystals of potassium permanganate. Usually the potassium permanganate is in blue color. In order to demonstrate the particles size and number of particles present in a matter, put a crystal potassium permanganate. So potassium permanganate is in purple color. In water, taken a glass cylinder, the color of solution will be very dark. Once you are going to put some potassium permanganate in water, it is dissolves in water and the color of the water will be get changed as a dark purple color. Next one. Now transfer a portion of this solution into another cylinder or another beaker. So first time you are going to add potassium permanganate to one beaker. It is completely dissolves in water and the solution will be turns as a purple color. Take 10 ml of potassium permanganate solution and put it to another beaker that consisting 100 ml of water. The color of water will be get reduced as a light color, right? Next, take again 10 ml of that solution and put it to the next beaker. That third beaker is also consisting 100 ml of water. The color of the solution is lighter now, right? Next, take again 10 ml of that solution and put it to the fourth beaker. Now you are observing the fourth beaker color water is lightest. So in the in these activities you are going to observe in the first beaker is having dark color, second one light, third one lighter, and fourth one is lightest. So as we are taking the solution and transferring to the other beaker, the color will be get reduced. So from this experiment we conclude that one crystal of potassium permanganate, which seems to be very small in size, is actually made up of such a large number of particles which we cannot be count. Okay, see the next third characteristics, that is particles of matter have space between them. So in the characteristics I already explained you. With the help of this activity we will get some more ideas. See the activity. Take some water in a beaker and note its level. Dissolve some salt or sugar in it with the help of glass rod. The salt dissolves in the water, but the level of the water does not changes. This is because the particles of salt get into the space between the particles of water. So from this activity we conclude that the particles are they all existing in the matter. Suppose this is the matter, right? So this matter is made up of the particles. In between these particles, some vacant places are there. When we dissolve the salt or sugar in water, it completely soluble in water and it occupy the vacant places. That's why each and every matter is made up of small particles, and these particles are having in between spaces. Okay, see the next slide. Before going to the next slide, the gap between or the vacant between these particles, we call it as a interparticle spaces. Interparticle spaces, the space or the gap between the particles, this gap is called as a interparticle space. When we dissolve sugar or salt, it completely soluble in water and it occupy the vacant places. That vacant place we call it as interparticle spaces. Okay, now see the fourth characteristic, that is particles of matter are continuously moving. Particles of the matter are continuously moving. With the help of this activity, we'll get some ideas. Take some water in beaker and put a drop of blue or put a drop of blue or red ink slowly along the side of beaker. Leave it under 2 or 3 minutes with undisturbed for few hours. The ink spreads evenly throughout the water due to the movement of the particles of water and ink. The intermixing of two or more different types of matter on their own is called diffusion. So, already told you, the particles which are existing in the matter, they are not in the stationary form, they are always moving in the particles or matter. Okay, so when we dissolve blue or red ink in the water, after some time the beaker will completely covered with blue or red color. It means, it indicates that the particles of red color or blue color or water are not in the stationary moment. Okay, so see the next activity, that is fifth one. Particles of matter attract each other. Particles of the matter attract each other. Okay, see the activity. Take an iron nail, a piece of chalk and rubber band. Try breaking them by hammering, cutting or stretching. It is more easier to break the chalk, less easier to break the rubber band, and difficult to break the iron nail. This is because the particles in the iron nail are held together with greater force than in the rubber band and chalk. So, in order to illustrate that the interparticle attraction depends upon the nature of the matter, take a piece of chalk, a small piece of rubber and iron nail. Beat them separately with a hammer. What you are observing? It is a very easy to break chalk into small pieces. Difficult to break rubber band and nail. Right? Next, the extremely difficult to break the nail into the pieces. This claims that the force of attraction in the nail is very strong. It means the particles existing in the nail are iron. They are completely in the tightly packed, or they are in the rigid form. That's why you cannot beat it easily. Okay. So these are the some characteristics of matter. What are those? The first one is every matter is made up of particle. Second one, the particles constituting a matter are very small in size. It It means the particles are very small in matter. Next, third one, the particles have empty or vacant places in them. We call it as the interparticle spaces. Next one, particles are not stationary and are in the state of motion. And next one, attractive force are present in the particles of substances. They are called it as interparticle forces. When the particles are attracted to each other, we call it as a interparticle forces. And next one, that is the last one, is the particles motion increases with a rise of temperature. When we are going to rise the temperature, the particles or the speed of the particle will be more. Okay, so these are the some characteristics of matter. Now, on the basis of physical properties, the matter is classified into three types. The first one is solid, second one is liquid, and third one is gases. So matter around us is existing in three states, and these are the three states of the matter. What are those? First one solid state, second one liquid state, and third one is gaseous. Okay, now we'll see the properties of these states. First one, states of matter. Matter existing in three different states. They are solid, liquid, and gas. Now see the properties of solid. What are the properties of solid? First one, solids have definite shape and fixed volume. So these are very important for your exams. Properties of solid, properties of liquid, and properties of gases. So how many types of the matters are existing in the nature? Three types. First one is solid, second one is liquid, and third one is gas. Okay, now see the properties of solid. First one is solids have definite shape and fixed volume. So all the objects which are present in the solid form or rigid form, they are having definite shape, whether it may be regular shape or irregular shape, and they are having fixed volume. Fixed volume means it will occupy the definite places or it will occupy the particular area. Okay, next one, see the second property. The space between the particle is minimum. The space between the particle is minimum. It means the particles what they are existing in the solid, they are tightly packed. Due to the tight pack of the particles, the space between these particles is very less. Okay, see the third one, the force of attraction between the particle is maximum. The force of attraction, the particles existing in the, here you are observing in the image, the particles observing in the present in the solids, they are tightly packed and the force of attraction between the particles is maximum. Due to the force of attraction, they are get in the rigid form. Okay, next one, the moment of the particles is minimum. When the force of attraction between the particles is maximum, the particles will not move easily. That's why the moment of the particles is minimum. Okay, next one, they are least compressible. When we try to compress the stone, it's not easy to compress it. Okay, it means they are least compressible. Next one, their rate of diffusion is least. Their rate of diffusion is least. Okay, so these are the some important properties of solid. Okay, see the next properties of liquid. So in this slide we're going to discuss the properties of liquid. So what are the properties of liquid? Liquids have no definite shape. Liquids have no definite shape. It means when we take the, give some examples for liquid, give some examples for solid. Last slide we already discussed no solid properties. So give some examples for solid. Yes, rock, stone, wood, sand, crystalline solids, metals like iron, copper, nickel. Okay, so these are the some examples for solid. Okay, now give some examples for liquid. Examples for liquid is water, milk, kerosene, petrol, alcohol, benzene. So these are the some examples of liquid. When we pour the water in beaker or conical flask, it will occupy the same place. That's why liquids does not have any definite shapes, but it have fixed volume. So liquid takes the shape of the container, whether the container it may be beaker or conical flask or round bottom flask. Okay, next one. So this is the second characteristic. So first characteristics is liquids have no definite shape. Second one is it have fixed volume. The liquids take the shape of the container. Next one is the space between the particles is intermediate. The space between the particle is intermediate. It means the particles existing in the liquid are loosely arranged. Okay, next one, little bit we are observing here, little bit vacant places are there, no, white. These white vacant places indicates that in between the particles or in between the liquids, the particles are having some kind of the vacant places. Okay, next one, the force of attraction between the particles is intermediate. Next property is the moment of the particle is intermediate. They are less compressible. Their rate of diffusion is more than solids. Okay, so these are the some properties of liquid. In the next slide, we'll see the properties of gases. Here, so this is the properties of gases. See the first one, gases have no definite shape. Gases have no definite shape or fixed volume. Gases occupy the whole space of the container. So next one is the space between the particle is maximum. It means the particles what they are existing in the gases, in between the particles the vacant place is maximum, or the interparticle space is maximum. Due to the interparticle is maximum, the particles are moving randomly or freely. So see the next one character, that is the space between the particle is maximum, the force of attraction between the particle is minimum. Where the particles having maximum vacant or maximum interparticle space, the particles are moving easily and they does not have any force of attraction. The moment of the particle is maximum. They are most compressible. Their rate of diffusion is more than solids and liquids. Their rate of diffusion is more than solids and liquids. Gases exerts pressure on the walls of the container. Gases exerts pressures on the walls of the container. So these are the some properties of gases. So properties of solids, gases and liquids are very important for your examination. Okay, in the next class we'll discuss about some more concept in the chapter. In this image you are observing the particles existing here. This is the last image. In this image you are observing the particle existing in the gases are randomly. The particles existing in the liquids are little bit tightly packed and the particles of the solids are tightly packed. It means the inter particle space is less in solid when we are compared with liquid and gases. The moment of or the motion of the particle is very high in liquid when we are compare with the solid and liquids. In the gaseous state the particles are moving randomly. Okay, in the next class we will discuss some more concept. Thank you.